Previously on Astonishing Spider-Man, after the breakup with MJ due to the demon Paul, Peter becomes lonely. He starts to keep his distance from his friends and family. So one of his best friends, Johnny Storm, advises Peter to forget the past and move on. So Peter then opens the Stark Date app, which is only for superheroes, but he quickly gets bored as it always the same girls in the Avengers community. So avoiding that, Peter then opens a regular dating app, and there he finds his new potential girlfriend, Linda Locke, who came to New York on vacation. But as she meets Peter, Linda gets tired as she finds Peter boring. He forgets his wallet while paying the bills and also acting strangely. And then Linda gets the opportunity to cancel their date as the two are confronted by a mutated creature. So the heartbroken Peter suits up and he is able to control the creature. But right at the time, a new spider hero joins the fight, and it seems she has a crush on Spidey, and the duo is able to defeat the creature. And this new spider hero also named herself the Webhead. But before Spidey could talk more, she leaves the place. And this mystery girl is actually Linda Locke, who is working for some secret organization to capture that creature. So changing her costume, as she about to cross an alley, she suddenly meets Peter. And then they both start to make an excuse and ended up to continue their boring date. And they proceed to meet soon. So on their third date, Linda came to a restaurant, but there is no sign of Peter. It's already too late. But as she is about to leave, Peter shows up, but he seems off. Linda is angry, seeing Peter's behavior. He is acting strangely. So Peter says he is in a bad mood, and the reason is his ex-girlfriend, Mary Jane Watson. Linda can't believe that Peter is thinking about his ex, and it makes the matter worse, and they ultimately decide to never meet each other again. But right after that, the two meet when Linda was capturing another creature, and Spidey helped her. As a reward, she tries to seduce Peter. He says in, but then Peter realizes something is off, as whenever they meet, they are fighting these monsters, and also his spider sense not working properly around her. And also, Peter is in a relationship with Shay Markin. So again, they go on their separate ways. But trouble always finds Peter, as in the next morning, Peter goes up against a street-level criminal who has a unique weapon, the Unmerger gun. With it, the criminal can separate every particles, and during the fight, Spidey gets hit with that gun, and surprisingly, it separates all of Peter's powers from his body. Spider-Man is no more, and Peter has turned into a normal person. Now this powerless Peter has plenty of times to explore his life, drinking, partying, spending time with his friends and family, going on a date. Everyone is appreciating how talented Parker is, but then Reed Richards contacts him and gives him the news that he can bring back his power. But it seems Peter is not interested anymore. He wants his normal life, not the burdens. Welcome to Comicstube YouTube channel. In today's video, we will review Chapter 28 of Astonishing Spider-Man. You can get the previous parts on this playlist. So if you guys are new here, please subscribe and turn on all the notifications to never miss any future uploads. Please like, comment and share. All the text and images are owned by its respected company. You can support them by purchasing it digitally or from any offline stores. The issue opens up in New York. In broad daylight, crimes are happening. The crime lord's henchmen are terrorizing the city in the absence of Spidey. And the worst part is, Peter is hiding from them. He doesn't have his powers, so he can't risk his own life. It is better for him to avoid the dangers. He thinks of contacting some of his superhero friends to deal with those criminals. He thinks Moon Knight can deal with them, but he is confused if he will come or not. But while Peter is distracted, it seems he is being followed by crime lord's henchmen. He contacts his boss, informs him Peter Parker has escaped from the crime scene, and it makes Crime Lord super happy. He tells his men not to follow him anymore, as he now knows Spider-Man has given up. Peter is still thinking about the situation. He hopes that someone stopped those criminals, but he is also relieved that his loved ones aren't in danger anymore, as without Spider-Man in their lives, they are a lot safer now. So ignoring all the worries, Peter then arrives to Jameson's office to get his paycheck. He tries to sneak in and avoids Jameson, but he sees Peter and he calls him to his chamber. Jameson is worried that ever since Spider-Man retreated in his last fight, his podcast viewers have fallen. So he is thinking that they should start a new podcast again, discussing the situation of the current New York and its crime rate. So he tells Parker to change his suit and get ready. But Peter says he is powerless now. The villain did something to him, so he refuses to do the podcast. But Jameson believes this is the perfect opportunity. Peter lost his powers, so they need to inform everyone. And Jameson hopes that the world scientist would come up with a plan to cure Parker. But then Peter informs him Reed Richards has already figured out a way to return his power back. But he turned him down, and it shocks Jonah as Peter could get his powers back, but he simply doesn't want it. How is it possible? But then Peter gets mad, as it was Jonah who always humiliated him, ruined his life, but it is better now. He's finally that person he was meant to be. So Jonah says he knows Peter would stop being a hero, but he thought he would get too old or injure himself during the battle, but he never thought that he would choose to give it up. It seems he was wrong. Peter leaves the office. He is thinking what Jonah was trying to say, but it doesn't matter anymore. He needs to focus on his life. But while crossing the road, Peter sees a fire truck and a house which is in fire. The firefighters are trying to handle the situation, but seeing that, Peter backs off as it is not his work anymore. But then he sees a kid who is trapped in the upper floor. The crowd gathers. Peter gets panicked. He wants to change his suit, but then he remembers he doesn't have his powers. He is confused, but still he decides he has to do something, and he rushes towards the building. He grabs a stair, tries to reach that floor. It was an easy job for Spidey, but Peter is struggling. Peter finally arrives to that floor. He is about to grab the gate, but then the staircase breaks and Peter falls into a dumpster. He was too close, but now the only option is gone, and right in front of him, the room explodes and the innocent kid dies. Peter is rescued by the others. He is not having any serious burns, and the doctor informs him the kid doesn't make it. He tries to console Peter that he did his best, but he snaps his mind. Peter can't believe why everyone is acting like it doesn't matter. A little boy dies, and they are all fine with this. So the crowd says there wasn't anything they could have done, and neither could he. He tried his best to save the kid. That's it. Peter is broken, and later that night, Peter arrives at the Baxter building and informs Reed he has decided he wants his powers back. Reed begins the process. He takes Peter into the lab under the experimental gadgets, and Reed wants to confirm, does Peter really want this? So Peter says he has made up his mind. He turned his back on them and someone paid the price. That won't happen again. He doesn't know about his future, but while he is still here, no innocent lives will suffer anymore. Reed activates the machine and hits Peter with nanoparticles. He screams in pain. It is too much for him, but Peter decides not to give up, and then Reed says the process is not working. So he tells Peter to forget the pain and focus on his loved ones, as what will happen to them if he doesn't get his powers back. But Peter tells him this is bigger than them. He needs his powers, not just for his family, but for all those people whose names he doesn't know. He has to do this for them. And after getting tortured for a while, the machine explodes and Peter drops into the ground. He starts to feel the change. His eyesight has returned. Reed confirms his vitals are normal, but he needs to check if his powers have returned or not. And the best way to test it out is to hit the thing with all of his strength. Thing agrees and provokes Peter to give his best shot. Peter hesitates as he feels he might break his own hand, but he has no other choice. He raises his hand, but as he punches Thing, the impact sends him flying all across the rooms, which shocks everyone, and also Peter. It seems Peter has gained incredible strength. He is now way more powerful than his previous self, and with this power upgrade, the chapter 28 of Astonishing Spider-Man comes to a close. So which part you like the most? Please let me know on the comment section down below, and please like this video and do subscribe, as this will motivate me to make more contents. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.